Well, all right, guys. I was asked a few questions about markers and stuff like that, and I want to actually share with you guys kind of at least my take on markers and everything that I use, which ones I think are better than others. I don't think others are better than others, but I have three different kind of markers I want to talk to you guys about, and turn down my music a little. Uh, the first and foremost, which is what everybody says, they live and die by these. They think they're the creme de la creme. They're roughly almost, depending on where you go, about $10 a marker, and it's these bad boys right here, the Copic or Copic, potato, however you want to say it, markers. Are they great? Absolutely. What's really cool about these markers, besides having two different ends, you've got your brush tip. You guys can probably see that right by my eyeball. And then you have, you've got your chisel, also kind of covering my eyeball. So you got, you got those two, which pretty much come standard with almost any marker you buy nowadays. Also with the Copic, or I'm going to call them Copic marker or Copic markers. That's just how I grew up saying them. Grew up in the industry saying them, so I'm just going to say Copic. Another cool thing about the Copic markers is that you can actually refill them. Now, this is not one of the refillable ones. There's special ones, special refill Copic markers that you actually buy. They're roughly, again, it just depends on where you go. They're up to $10, $9, $10, depending on where you go. And then the refills are about $7 or $8. So it's almost like buying a brand new marker with the refill. Now, with the refill, it's just a little thing. It's about the size, a little smaller than the marker, about the same size of the marker itself, minus the brush tips. Approximately, you can get, from what I understand, you can get about 5 refills out of one refill, if that makes any sense. So 5 times you actually squirt it in there, and you refill your marker, and that's only for $7. Okay, in that case, it is a really good marker, because that means if you're someone like me and you use markers 24/7 almost, it's actually really, really, really good to get a Copic marker. Just again, the only problem is that not a lot of places sell them unless you get them online. There's a lot of stores who do sell them, but I don't know. I'm kind of one of those guys where I like to keep things at a little bit lower cost for me. Going up to almost $10 a marker, that's a little pricey for me. That also means that my commissions would have to go up and the sketch colorings would have to go up too. And not by like $1 or $2, like by 10. Because I'm using a lot more expensive markers. I just don't want to do that. I can get a really cool looking marker, a really cool looking sketch coloring or commission done with either a Blick or a PrismaColor, which I'll get to in a second, that look just as good, maybe a little more vibrant. These guys the Copic markers I use for skin tones, for skin colors. And the reason for that is because they're pretty true to everyone's skin tone. It's not too peachy, it's like just right, kind of like Goldilocks, just right. So the Copic markers, great markers. You don't have to have them in order to work in the comic book industry. I'm just saying, because a lot of people who are trying to break in, that's what they're told, that's what people think that you have to have in order to break in. Not true. Now, my personal favorite, and you guys have seen me at shows, I've got a whole box of these. Actually, I just posted a picture yesterday of all the different PrismaColor markers. And that's these bad boys. PrismaColor! That's my special effects, guys. That's about as good as we're going to get with special effects with these videos. So, So anyways, the PrismaColor markers, I think, are, in my opinion, the best out of all of them. And these run, again, depending on where you go, they can go up to $6 a piece. So they're still pretty expensive. But if you go to like Dick Blick Art Supplies, or you go to whoever else sells these markers, you can get them for a lot cheaper when you buy them in bulk. A lot of the times, like with Dick Blick, if they have an online sale, you walk in their store, you buy them in the store, they do a price match. And if they're cheaper online, which they were today, I think the guy said they were $2.78 for these. Hello, that's a good deal. You ain't gonna get that with these. So you're like today. I mean, these are under $3 a pop, and that's one hell of a deal, guys. That's an awesome deal. But besides just the price, I like these a lot better because they're more vibrant. They're kind of more in your face, and they give. And you can see sometimes the streaks when I'm doing like Mickey Mouse's ear, or I'm doing a cape, or I'm doing. I don't do it a lot, but like backgrounds. So, and just like the Copic markers, these have a small tip. If you guys can't see that well, I do apologize. My camera's not that good. And you also have the chisel as well. So just like the Copic marker. PrismaColor also has the small tip as well, and also a brush tip at the other end. So they have another style. I'm not a big fan of those, because when you're doing big pieces, or you're doing like, let's say like Hellboy, or you're doing the Thing from Fantastic Four, and you're coloring them in, you know what, you got a big space you got to color. So when you have a brush, it's a pain in the butt. So I don't even use those. I love using the chisel edge the most. That's basically what I really use out of all the markers I use. I have one more I'm going to show you guys in a second. But PrismaColor, these are my all-time favorite. I grew up on these. I taught myself on these. I just think they're fantastic. I think they're really worth the money, because you can get roughly 7 to 8 11 by 17 black and white prints out of one marker. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You pretty much can with the Copic marker for the most part. No, you can't. But maybe 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11, you can probably get maybe 5 or 6 out of the Copic. So a new one I just started using, which I'm pretty impressed with them. I tried them out a little bit, and I'm like, okay, they're pretty okay. Then I started doing more of my stuff, more of my colorings with them, and I'm like, wow, these are pretty good. And it's Blick Studio markers. These guys are even cheaper. These are even cheaper than the PrismaColor markers. Granted, not by much, but by probably 20-25 cents when they go on sale. These approximately are roughly around $4 to buy just when they're not on sale. PrismaColor is about $7, $6-7. These guys are up to $10. Yeah, I like the Blick markers. These guys here, they're pretty much just like the PrismaColor markers, to be honest with you, the Blick markers. They've got of course, the fine tip, and they also have the chisel as well. So they're very comparable. I think to some extent these are kind of brighter than the PrismaColor markers. These are all, guys, these are all just my opinion. You definitely, I'm not the end all be all of coloring. I almost am, but I'm not completely. No, I'm kidding. I kid. But the Blick markers are actually really good. These you can definitely buy online through the Blick art store, Dick Blick art store. They don't sell those anywhere else except for Dick Blick. Those are exclusive to Blick, and they're pretty good. And if you guys get one of their cards, I am not a spokesperson. I'm saying that now. But if you guys have one of their cards, now you get price matches and discounts and all that kind of stuff all the time from Dick Blick, and that's on any of the markers that I just talked to you about, anything that they have in their stores, anything that's art related, printing, frames, you name it. So it's actually pretty and it's free. That's even better to sign up. But these are the 3 markers that I use, guys. I know I was asked a few times, so I wanted to come up and I wanted to show you guys physically what markers I use. So Copic marker, PrismaColor marker, and Blick Studio marker. So these are the 3 that I love. These are my favorites of all time. PrismaColor is what I use the most. They're my favorite out of all 3 of those. And again, that's only because I think they're very vibrant. They're very colorful. You guys have seen my the Jeff Secret Stash site. You've seen all the pictures I've colored by hand. Everything is very vibrant, in your face, colorful. Excuse me. So there you have it. There you go. Those are the markers that I used, and those are the only markers that I use. I'm starting to get into a little bit of colored pencil, so anybody brings me up a pencil sketch, I can actually start working on those now. I have a ton PrismaColor, of course, PrismaColor colored pencils. And if I don't have the color in there, I've got some other studio pencils. I'm not exactly sure. I got them from Michael's, I think, a while back. No, I'm sorry, I got them from Dick Blick a while back. But yeah, those are the three. I hope that helped out some of you guys. I was going to do this anyway. I just wanted to have like more of a chat, but I don't know how to set that up yet, except for on my phone, and it's kind of a really small picture, and it's hard for me to show you things with my phone all the time. So, guys, thank you very much for being part of the group. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, you've got that 15% off that lasts the entire year of 2017 that you guys can use on anything in the store. That includes sale items, and that also includes any custom sketch colorings or anything like that. So guys, in comic books, I just put my first comic book up there. The first comic book cover that I worked on with Marvel, I just put on Jeff's Secret Stash under the comics section. So guys, again, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you at upcoming shows. Oh, my first show that I'm going to be doing is MightyCon Milwaukee. I have another show that might be before that. I'm just waiting to hear back from them. So I'm kind of excited. February is going to be a pretty good month when it comes to shows. So I hope to see you guys there. And I'm going to have a bunch of colorings with me, and I've got some news coming up about some of these sketch coloring covers that I'm going to be doing all year as well. But that's coming up later. All right, guys, have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday. It is the first Happy Friday of 2017. That's kind of cool. And I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Okay, bye.